Has John Chayka done enough this summer to win over Leafs Nation?
You're Locked On Maple Leafs, your daily podcast on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome into the Locked On Leafs podcast, the daily Maple Leafs Central podcast hosted by myself, Mike DiStefano, and my co-host, Dave Morris. Today's episode is brought to you by Odoo. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try it for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon. What's happening, Dave? How are we feeling on this wonderful Wednesday?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Nice to see that people were all in on the Morgan Rielly trade rumor train.
Yeah, does seem to be that it's funny. I think a lot of people expected the Morgan Rielly trade to happen by now, and it hasn't. But I don't think it necessarily means it's dead in the water. Like I do feel like it's less likely today that it's going to happen, but I don't think it's dead in the water. And we're going to talk a little bit today about whether or not John Chayka has won over Leafs Nation. I think everybody. Well, not everyone, but there was a lot of skepticism about, Chayka getting the job, considering his history as a general manager in this league, the, lengthy absence from the league, and then being given such a prestigious job. It was a bit of a head scratcher. One of the things, though, that I think he still does need to get done is kind of figure out what he's doing with Morgan Rielly. And that's either come out and just say, look, the Rielly market is not materializing the way that we thought it could. Therefore, we really, we're going to move forward with Morgan Rielly on our team. We've expressed that to him, and we're kind of putting this to bed. Like, if that's the case, great. Or trade him. Like, let's just get this over with, rip the Band-Aid off, find some taker for Morgan Rielly, or figure out what you want to do, someone who's willing to give you the type of return that you want, and make that deal work. Like, I think those are the two options that they have right now when it comes to Mo. And I do feel as though that's the one final piece of business, like heavy lifting piece of business that Chayka has to do this summer.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one thing that's. I don't think you put that story gets out there about Rielly being on the market and it just like totally dies off. I just think that John Chayka has made quite a bit of changes, and we're gonna probably go through it all. But it's like I think he moved off on so many players from this team. As much as people want Morgan Rielly gone, and comments certainly do suggest it, you're also can't be giving away every single player on the team, right? John Chayka also needs to kind of stand his ground a little bit with the other GMs to say, I do want value back from some of these guys, right? I don't say he didn't get value back from some of the other guys that were moved, but I do think that when you look at a Morgan Rielly, there are probably still people within the organization, including the new head coach, that thinks, maybe I can do a little bit of magic. Maybe I can try to get him back to playing, in a role that suits him better, right? So, you don't necessarily need to make a move just for the sake of making a move. You have to make the move if it makes sense at the end of the day. And we know that with the Joseph Woll move, right? There's another move lined up with that one, right?
True.
So the Morgan Rielly one, like, yeah, you can trade Morgan Rielly. Who's filling his minutes every night, right? Like that's a guy who plays close to 20 minutes a night. Yeah, Darren Raj is going to take the power play time.
Thought is he would probably take power play time. Like, I don't know. Isn't that the answer? Like, Darren Raj takes minutes. Like, isn't that the answer? A healthy Chris Tanev gets a little bit more minutes,
where it
right?
comes down to, right? The one thing Morgan Rielly, I think you could always say about him, he's been probably one of the more durable players on this blue line.
Correct.
So you can't go into this thinking you're good enough by moving off Morgan Rielly without having something else coming in. Because I'm sorry, I can't trust Chris Tanev right now to stay healthy. And I don't think anyone should Granted, he went through a few tough injuries, and he's given himself a lot of time to get himself back and healthy again. But we know that throughout his career, that's always been a knock on him, is his ability to stay healthy.
Yeah, no, 100%. And again, that was a big concern when he signed that big ticket deal. And sure, year one looked great, looked like he was healthy for a majority of the season, and he played a stellar role for the Maple Leafs, winning that division that year. But last season wasn't great, and now he's going into age 36 season for Chris Tanev. And you just look at the blue line in general, like it's a very old blue line. Like Tanev 36, OEL 34, McCabe 32, Morgan Riley's 31. Like we talk about Riley as he's as if he's the old man of the group, but he's not. He's like middle of the pack, right? Like there's, even if you move on from Riley, you still got some players who are older than him, like Troy Stecher and Riley. They're the same age. Like they're literally the exact same age. And then even moving forward, like you bring in the defenseman there, Darren Radish. Like Darren Radish is also 30 years old. So it's an old blue line, obviously, and we know that it's a work in progress. That is 100% the one item, the one piece of this roster that Chayka has explicitly discussed how it needs to be overhauled quite largely. And it started with Radish. They made the trade to bring in Emil Andre. Didn't really get much else outside of that, but I'm sure it'll be a work in progress. So maybe again, that's moving on from Morgan Riley, whether it's this summer, next summer, whenever it may be. Maybe it's, waiting to see, okay, can we move Riley? And then is there someone who can step in? Do we have, that second move afterwards already locked in to replace some of his minutes? I guess we'll find out. But to me, that's really the last piece of business I think John Chayka has to do this summer in order to really like consider it like a home run summer. Like so far, I think Chayka's done a great job, like, and if he can get this deal done and not get fleeced, then I think it's enough to have won over Leafs Nation. Like if he hasn't won you over yet with the moves that he's made and how he's really quickly gotten Toronto back into, playoff contenders, maybe you're just waiting to see how this Morgan Riley deal kind of goes through. It's like, okay, well, maybe that's the final test. Can he get something out of Morgan Riley, right? Like, can he get a tangible asset in return? And that's what you're waiting on. Because when you look at the offseason as a whole, I mean, it's tough to find teams who had a better offseason than the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? Like for John Chayka, they win the draft lottery, so they're able to add the number one pick in the draft. He traded and did a trade and sign to acquire the number one defenseman in free agency, and he signed the number one goalie out on the market in Bobrovsky. So like you had the number one pick, the number one defenseman, the number one goaltender. Like that's not a bad offseason for a guy who kind of came in, and there's a lot of skeptics on whether or not he'd be able to, hit the ground running so quickly and effectively. I think he's done a pretty darn good job winning over a lot of Leafs Nation. You'd be hard pressed to find teams who've had better off seasons than that. GMs who've, added to their group more than what John Chayka has been able to do. And again, I think that last piece of business to really make it like an A+ summer for him in year one as Leafs GM is just figuring out the Riley situation. That's the final piece of the puzzle for me this summer.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a lot. Like this team,
it's a lot.
Like you just look and came on the job. He's been working both the front office, management staff, along with the roster. Like he's rebuilt a good part of the organization. Now, I know there's a lot of players that are still here, and you're not going to have a full team turnover, not in a salary cap era, and not when teams are not exactly prone to making all big moves all the time. But I mean, you look at how different this team really looks on paper. Coaching staff as well. Like it's just a total turnover. You don't see teams go through that much of a turnover really in one off season. But we also know the Leaf situation. There was zero chance they were running things back.
No.
He had to do this. And I guarantee that's why he was brought aboard, right? Because I guarantee other general managers maybe weren't as willing to make some of those moves. Or maybe John Chayka presented his plan to change all these changes, right? Alongside Matt Sundin, right?
Yeah.
And
well,
that made it
at the beginning of the process, like we had the conversation, retool, rebuild.
Yeah.
And I would imagine a lot of the candidates wanted to rebuild this thing. Chayka laid out a plan to retool it. And so far, again, you got to play the games and see how it all plays out. But on paper, so far, so good. Yeah, right? So far, so good. And we'll see how, he finishes off the summer and what the team looks like come September 29th, I think, is game 1 against the Montreal Canadiens. So we'll see what the final roster looks like on that day before we truly give him our full report card for the summer. But he's done pretty well to, really quiet a lot of the haters who are out there on May 4th. And hey, put my hand up as one of them, as someone who was very skeptical of the signing to make him GM and appoint him as, the head guy in Toronto. But so far, so good, right? I'm prepping the crow. I'm not eating it quite yet, but I think it's being prepared in the kitchen, right? And I think a lot of people are in the same boat. All right, so a couple things that we want to get into on the other side. I've got a fun little segment that I want to play here, Dave. It's called Guess the Ranking. I've got a little top 5 list, and we'll see if you can guess what it is based on the list itself. And we got some news and notes from around the league. A big signing has been made in the NHL, and we'll tell you about that next. Here in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Odoo. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working toward the same goal. And that's true in sports, just like it is in business. You can tell that this isn't the one thing that really stands out to me about how organizations get everyone pulling in the same direction. It isn't just about one great player or one great coach. It's a coordinated effort across the entire organization that makes things successful. Great organizations win because operations matter. And that's why you should get Odoo. Try it for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon. The Locked On Leafs podcast continues. I'm Mike DiStefano. Got Dave Morisuti with me, as we are each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yes, everyone else seems to take the summer off. Not us, Dave. Not us. We're still here at least 3 days a week, bring you nothing but Maple Leafs content. And the summer is, it's a time to have some fun. It's a time to play some games, some segments. There's not games to react to, not a lot of moves to react to. So, we can have some fun on the show. And I thought of a fun little bit segment here that we can do. It's called Guess the Ranking, or Guess the List, I guess, is kind of what it is. I'm going to give you a 5-pack of players, and you're going to see if you can guess what this list is. So, like, typically, we'll do a Friday 5-pack. I'll give you, 5 names, and you'll know what it is. Well, this time I'm leaving the list subject blank, and you got to try and fill it in. So basically I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And after every name, I'm going to try and ask you what you think the list could possibly be until you finally get it. Will you get it before I complete it and get to number 1? That's kind of your goal, to try and guess the list before I finish the list. If I finish it before, I win. If you guess it before I finish, you win, my friend. You ready to go?
Feels like we need some game show music going on here.
Oh, yeah? Do we have some?
We don't.
Oh, wow. I thought maybe that meant we would have some game show music. I don't know. Ready?
Bongos are back.
And that's the best we're going to get for game show music. All right, welcome into Guess the List Part 1. If it's a good enough segment, maybe there'll be a Part 2, 3, 4. We'll see how it goes. But the first player on this top 5 ranking is going to be one Matthew Nyes. Matthew Nyes is the player who is at the top of the list here, or bottom, depending, I guess, how you look at it, of my top 5. I'm going to guess you do not have a guess yet. No, that would be crazy.
Nowhere close.
I mean, what is Matthew Nyes? I mean, you could give me a guess.
I was kind of maybe thinking like a top 5 under 23.
Incorrect, because he would probably be up near closer to the top, not at number 5.
Okay. Same.
By the way, it's Leaf related. If that helps you. It's
right.
Maple Leaf related. All right, coming at number 4. So 5, you have Matthew Nyes. Number 4, you've got John Tavares.
Number 4 is
so
John
Nyes at 5, Tavares at 4. What could those guys have in common?
I mean, they're forwards.
Hmm?
So we're looking at top Leafs forwards going into the 2026-2027 season.
We're not. Can you think of 4 better forwards than Matthew Nyes?
Austin Matthews, William Nylander. Depending on who you ask, I don't think people are putting Tavares ahead. That's the only one that kind of throws me off. Some people might think Gavin McKenna.
Yeah, right? Okay. All right. Well, coming at number 3, and this probably squashes that possible ranking, Austin Matthews. So Matthew Nyes, John Tavares, Austin Matthews.
Matthews at 3.
Yep. It's not a lot of lists where Austin Matthews would be considered number 3.
I know.
Right? You know?
No, not yet.
What's going on through your brain? Let's work through it. What do you think?
I'm wondering, are you listing some like maybe no. Like players potentially like top core players that could be on the move? Core players John Chayka could try to trade out?
That is not it. That's a good guess, though. That's actually that's a good guess. I'm not saying you're close. I'm just saying that.
Thanks. That's a good guess, but you're
I can see the logic there. Where
you might be close, you might do not be close. We can't really tell. I don't know. This is great.
Yeah. All right, coming in number 2, I've got William Nylander. So I'll tell you the list again.
Well, I already know it's Nyes, Tavares, Matthews, and now Nylander.
Yeah, so Nyes at 5, Tavares at 4, Matthews at 3, Nylander at 2. Can you guess what this list is? I feel like Nylander's a big clue here, to be completely honest with you, and maybe that's a clue in itself.
But Nylander at 2.
Yeah. Work through it. It's a podcast. We gotta have audio.
I know.
Head to work.
I'm trying to think what ranking would have Nylander above Matthews.
Yeah.
And only at 2. Like if Nylander at 1, I would have suggested it would have been like player, projected to have the most points or goals.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it that easy. Maybe eventually we do that, but that would have been an easy one for you. Think about it. Think about the players in the exact order that I said them. And that's a big clue for you, pal.
I'm trying to think now. What are those? I mean, we know what all those players have in common. They're top 6 players.
Yeah. They are.
It's going to be so simple, too, when you say it.
Number one should give it away. Number 1 should give it away for you. We'll see.
All right, give me number 1 because I don't know. Right now, I'm still.
So, what's your guess? What's your guess so far?
I'm trying to.
I mean, you said something along the lines of top 6 players was like the last comment you made. So something on those lines, I'm guessing, is where your head's leaning.
Yeah, like.
And play along. Let us know.
There's that maybe the Leafs
There's someone screaming, "It's gotta be this!" driving down the road. I'm telling you.
I know. I got somebody probably yelling at me, "Dave, you're an idiot," or like I have one person going, "Idiot sandwich," but the Gordon Ramsay putting the bread between my ears.
Oh, you an idiot sandwich. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you just quickly.
Is McKenna number 1?
No.
Oh
no.
Okay, well then McKenna is not number 1.
I'm curious. Did you think it would have been like assists or something?
No, like I'm trying to debate. Is it an on ice thing?
So do you have you don't have a single inkling right now?
Okay, maybe ranking power play goals.
Okay.
Like who? Like player?
Again,
like
really good guess. Really good guess.
Power play goals or power play points?
Really good guess, because I could totally see that ranking coinciding with power play. So like really good guess, but this one's going to completely eliminate that from your first line of thinking. Number 1, Morgan Rielly.
Morgan Rielly.
Yeah.
Oh, are these the longest tenure Leafs?
There you go. You got it.
You know what? Like,
hang on.
Because I was like, okay. I was like, I did find there are some songs. I don't want to play any of them in case they're like really weird.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because that was something I thought about. It's like, it's not, well, obviously with the Tavares one, what took it away was the Tavares in there. Because that was like players drafted or like, I'm like, it's got to be something to do with like players brought in by the Leafs.
Yeah.
Maybe initially drafted, but then you had Tavares. So I'm like, it's not the like, and I'm like, okay, Nylander, the only thing he has over Matthews is he was here before Matthews.
Mm-hmm. So when you said, I'm trying to think if it's something on ice or off ice, I'm like, okay, I think he's getting close.
Yeah.
And I knew when I said Morgan Rielly that would get it for you.
Yeah, because the part of it too was when you were saying no to all the stat stuff, I'm like, okay, it's got nothing to do with on ice stuff. It's definitely something off ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that as soon as you said Rielly, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is longest tenured.
Isn't that crazy that Matthew Nye is the 5th longest tenured Maple Leaf?
That is quite crazy.
Yeah. Now that's technically based on draft, because I think he made his debut. He made his debut after McCabe. So I think Jake McCabe technically played before Matthew Nyes played a game as a Maple Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
But Nyes obviously was drafted, and we're talking about draft. Longest member of the organization. He was still a member of the organization, just unsigned at the time.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is not number of games, but when the club brought them in.
Right. So Morgan Rielly, longest tenured Maple Leaf.
2012, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long time. We'll see how much longer he's number 1 on this list. Like, could be the last time that we do this list and he's at number 1. But that was the fact that Matthew Nyes to me was number 5, like when I was doing this.
Yeah, like, that's what was throwing me off too. I'm like, where's he going with this with Matthew Nyes?
That's like how much turnover there's been with this team in the last few years. That Matthew Nyes is the 5th longest Leaf behind Rielly, Nylander, Matthews, Tavares. Like your core, core 4 plus Rielly, like that was the core for 10 years, essentially here in Toronto. And then everyone else who wasn't one of those, remember there's a time where we called Rielly, Rielly signed an extension, called the Fab 5 with Marner. Everyone else who wasn't part of that Fab 5 is no longer with the team, essentially. Like that's how much turnover we've seen over the last few years, where now Matthew Nyes is one of the 5 longest tenured Maple Leafs in the organization. Kind of wild to think about.
The other thing too, I don't know if maybe we want to talk about this on the other side, because there was, I didn't bring it up on the last show because we also ran out a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
There was a tweet sent out by the Leafs.
Oh.
Back on Saturday.
Okay. Do you want to break, come back, and get into it?
Yeah, because it's got me now after this list, it's got me thinking about something.
Okay. Good tease. We'll break. We'll come back. We'll get to whatever's on Dave's mind that he's referring to here. And a big deal signed around the NHL. We'll get to that next here on the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. The Locked On Leafs podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, if you think you know who's hitting a homer today, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with daily dingers. It's easy to play. Just make your free pick of who you think is going to hit their home run today. If you're right, you'll receive a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. Best of all, you can make a free pick every single day throughout the MLB season. Daily Dingers is another fun way to stay engaged with every day's games. Whether you're following your favorite team or keeping an eye on matchups across the league, every game has someone capable of going deep. Now you get the chance to make your prediction before the first pitch. Sometimes the hitter has been on a hot streak, a favorable pitching matchup, even a ballpark that tends to give up some home runs. Those are always the first things that I look at before making my daily dingers pick. So are you ready to play your game today? Join all the action at FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com to play daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DeStefano and Dave Morisuti with you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can find us free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and also subscribe to the show on YouTube. Let us know down below. Did you guess the list before Dave, or did you have to get down to Morgan Riley?
People are going to lie.
I want to know. I still want to know. Be as truthful as you can, people.
Yeah.
Did you guess before I finished the list? I want to know where people started to kind of pick up on the category of that. Did you like that segment? Do you think that's got legs? I don't know. Let us know in the comment section down below. Maybe next week Dave can test me, and we can see if I can guess before he finishes. All right, you said there was a tweet by the Leafs on Saturday that caught your attention that we didn't really have time to dig into on Monday's show. So you want to bring it up and tell us what's on your mind?
So yeah, Saturday at 7:00, the Leafs sent out this tweet. All it reads is "Don't blink," and this is an old video.
Yeah.
Because first off,
JVR
is on the ice. And they're wearing the old jerseys that they don't even wear anymore. And all it just said was "Don't blink." And it's a clip of JVR scoring.
What are you getting at, David?
So I think I caught this because also someone I follow, was it Clark Monroe, I believe was who I was speaking to about this. Got into a bit of a discussion. Are the Leafs teasing a reunion with JVR?
Oh, interesting.
Like, why else would you send a random on a Saturday at 7:00? You're sending out this tweet with this video, and it's clearly a JVR tweet.
But why wouldn't we know by now? Like, why would you
send
the only
that part out? Of this that's kind of
like, why would you send that out on Saturday night, and then by Wednesday morning you still haven't announced the signing? Like, I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. That's interesting. I didn't see that was the night of my stag and doe, so I was dead to the world.
Yes.
That day I was busy, very busy. I did not know what was going on, so I didn't see that tweet actually. But it is very peculiar. Like, what? Like, it's kind of cryptic. What are they talking about here? I like, is there? I don't even know if there's a spot for JVR.
Well,
Like,
this is the conversation I had with Clark, and we were kind of wondering what's the deal with this? Why would they put this out here? If they brought JVR in, I don't think it's actually signing him to a contract, like a contract for next year. I think it's a PTO, and he'd have to earn himself a spot. Like the one thing we talked about with this bottom six, they clearly went for certain needs, right? Guys who can kill penalties, a little bit more defensively responsible. They lack a little bit of the goal scoring and ability to produce. Now, JVR, we know him throughout his career, the one thing he does better than anyone is get power play points and power play goals.
Sit in front of the net and bang away at loose
15 goals last year. 7 of those came on the power play.
Nice.
I mean, I'm not just openly. The vibe of bringing JVR back would be absolutely incredible because the guy was, minus him not being able to be defensively responsible. He was quite a defensive liability at times when he kind of first arrived on the scene. But that guy was so productive.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, the guy, regardless, is still good for like 30 to 40 points.
Like that trade, him for Luke Shen straight up was actually kind of a like a decent trade.
It was a great trade. Yeah, that was a great trade. For Toronto, like Luke Shen never turned into the top pair defenseman. Like he was kind of a 4 for a while, like, and then kind of fizzled into a third pair guy. And then he came back to Toronto for a few months, and that was fun and games. But yeah, like you look at JVR's career. I mean, he had 32 points in the lockout shortened season, so 32 points in 48 games. And then the following season, 61 points, career high, 30 goals, 27 goals the year after that. Like, the guy was flirting with 30 for pretty much every year. Sorry, he had 36 his final season in Toronto, 36 goals in 81 games with the Leafs before going back to Philly as a free agent, and never quite got to that number again. Scored 20 a couple more times, but in the last 3 years, like Boston, Columbus, Detroit, 11, 16, 15. So still able to pound some goals away, but I just don't know if he fits what the Leafs are looking for at this point.
Like that was the only thing. It's just like, that's why a PTO makes sense, because you can kind of give him a chance to see, but at the same time, it's like,
like if you have if it feels like they're trying to build a defensive identity on the third and fourth line, like they want to alleviate a lot of defensive pressure off of, the top six and go with more of a maybe top six, bottom six, or at least a top 9 and a shutdown fourth line. I don't know. And speed too. They've definitely talked about speed and mobility being part of the process moving forward. And just JVR
does not fit that mold.
He doesn't fit the identity of this team at all. It would be a bit of a puzzling addition. Like maybe they bring him in just, because for nostalgia reasons, or because they want to do him a favor and a solid and get him, some games, and I don't know, but I don't necessarily think at this point in his career, I just don't think he fits what the Leafs are trying to do. Could he provide a couple of goals from, your fourth line? Yeah, did that last year, and take over on the second power play unit where there's not a lot of offense on that unit now, especially with like Michelli and Robertson being dealt away, with Max Domi not going to be on the team for a while. I guess you could use someone on the second power play. So maybe that's, where you potentially think about that, but I don't know. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense from an identity standpoint of what they're trying to build, but it'd be fun if they, brought him in for a PTO, give him a chance. But with there only being like 4 games now, and not even, it's like 2
split squad days.
2 split squad. It's like, how many PTOs like you think we're gonna see at this point? I feel like you want to get each player 2 games. Like I don't know if there's gonna be that many non-Maple Leafs, like non-roster invitees who get many opportunities moving forward with these changes. We'll call it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. We'll see if something comes of that. Jason Robertson signed a big deal last night. J-Rob staying in Dallas. Didn't get to arbitration. He inks a 1-year deal, just $12 million, which, a month ago I would have said, hey, it's a good deal for both sides, but this seems like an underpayment considering the deals that we've seen come across the ticker lately, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think this is just like, and I was hearing around 12 before all this craziness is kind of, well, didn't Seattle offer 15 a year for Robert?
Yeah, he was offered and he said no, he didn't want to go. And then I want to say, I think that would have got Knives to Dallas, I think. Like, yeah, there was a few things that kind of broke apart when Robertson said no there. And then for him just to take a 1-year, $12 million deal, now this walks him right to
That's the one
unrestricted
thing
free
it
agency
does
next year.
is he doesn't get the term, but he gets a chance to now call his shot. And I'm very curious to know what exactly is he. It's clearly not money because Seattle offered him a boatload of money.
Yeah.
It's not term because Seattle offered him the term as well. He's clearly looking to go somewhere specific.
Yeah. Pittsburgh.
I saw a lot of people wondering Pittsburgh because, yeah, the Penguins, like Dubas has been big on. I just wonder wherever he goes, are the Dallas Stars going to be petty and being like filing tampering charges in the way that the Leafs didn't do that with Vegas? Because this just seems, especially if you're Dallas, it just seems like a very weird situation because Jim Nill, I think on free agency day one, said like our goal is still to sign Jason Robertson long term.
Yeah.
Well, this contract doesn't exactly inspire a lot of confidence that this guy is sticking around.
No, not
really.
really.
He can sign an extension after January 1. It's just like, what does he have left to prove to the Stars that he's worth a long-term extension?
I don't think it's that he has anything to prove to the Stars. Let me see where they're at cap-wise. Like, they physically just may not be able to afford him. Like, after this contract, they are over $1.3 million over the cap with this deal. So there's, I guess, Sagan's on IR. So like,
and they've made moves to get themselves cap compliant, like as close to cap compliant, right? Moving out Maverick Bork.
Yeah,
like that was a guy that they had to get rid of.
Yep.
Now I will say, maybe, and this is my only thought for this year. They're saying we'll give you 12. Sagan's money is off the books.
Well, that's what I mean. And
cap
then
is going up.
The cap's going up, and that's when you can get your 14, 15. Give us this year to make it work with the cap. Next year we got more money for you. You want to do it? Let's go. Because they can start negotiating on January 1st.
Yeah.
So they'll have like 6 months to negotiate with him, J-Rob, before he gets to free agency. So, they'll be able to sign an extension if that's the case, and they'll know the situation of their cap a lot better at that point. So, yeah, it was a very intriguing, interesting deal, the 1 year, but I think it's probably with a plan in place to make sure that he
and I don't think there's any trade protection. So if a team really wants Jason, like let's say January 1 comes around, a few months, we get closer to the trade deadline. Dallas is not like, if I'm Dallas, if you're heading towards a trade deadline, you're making one of two calls. You're either using them as your own rental, or you're just saying, well, like similar to what they did with Ranton, let's go find a player that maybe we can not only trade Jason Robinson for, but also have, kind of flip things around and get a player like that signed long term. So Dallas is going to be a team to watch, and Jason Robertson too, because I could see, you were saying Pittsburgh could be one team. I think LA, like the Kings, they made the big push for Panarin, but I don't know if he's definitely not enough for them. Like they need a guy that could put up some points over there. And
Yeah.
I mean, they're also kind of up there on the cap with Kempe's money, with Panarin's money, as we said, Fiala. Like it's going to be very interesting how this all. I know Doughty's in the last year of his deal, so there could be money there in LA to work with.
Yeah, and like Robertson's they're California boys too, right?
Yep.
I mean, if Leo Carlson didn't sign a monster deal, you can maybe say Anaheim could be part of the
San Jose, like you go and play with Celebrini.
Could go play with Celebrini next summer, yeah. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. But as of now, he stays and remains a Dallas Star, and they're still going to be Cup contenders next season. It's a great team that Jim Nill and company have built down there in Dallas. All right, that'll do it for us here today on the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at _Morisuti, and follow the show as well at Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys on Friday. Until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.